In this tutorial we'll be looking at the Vanishing Bridge program for Adventure 4. The Vanishing Bridge program automatically creates a bridge under your feet if you happen to walk off a cliff into the air, or if you try and walk across water. But as soon as you step back onto the land, the bridge disappears. Before we take a look at the program, let's see the bridge in action. Here I am, stood across a lake, and I need to get to the other side. As I walk off, a bridge of glass appears underneath my feet. Every time I step forward, another block appears. And the program does this by constantly checking the player's position and checking the block below him. If the block below him is air or water, it puts a glass block underneath the player. But what it also does is it keeps a list of all the positions that it's created new blocks in. So when the player steps back onto land, or a block that isn't air or water, the program runs through the list of all the blocks it created and sets them back to air, and the bridge disappears. If you try and get out the program, it might be worth using the creep mode in Minecraft to slowly walk forward by pressing shift and holding it down. That way you can be sure the magic bridge always works. Now let's take a look at the program and see how it works. We're going to need three modules: the Minecraft and block modules, and also the time module so we can use delays. Very first thing we do is create a connection to Minecraft. And we're also going to create a variable called bridge, which is an empty list. You create an empty list by using two square brackets. The program uses a function called buildBridge. And what buildBridge does is works out whether to put a glass block down below the player or to remove the glass blocks that it's already created. And buildBridge is run from this game loop over and over and over again. So what buildBridge does is it asks Minecraft for the position of the player, and then it uses getBlock to say what block is below the player, or if I take the player's Y position and take one from it, what block's below, what block's there. It then says, is that block air or water, in this case flowing water or stationary water. If it is air or water, it sets that block that's directly underneath the player to glass. But what it also does is gets the coordinate of that block and appends it to the bridge list that we created earlier. And it does this every time it creates a block. It appends that coordinate to our list, our bridge list. Now, if it's not air or water, our program then says, well, if it's not glass and it's not air or water, then it must be the land. So, if we're on the land and the length of our bridge list is more than 0, then what we should do is clear the bridge. So it uses a function called pop in the bridge list to pull back the first coordinate. and it stores that in a variable. It then uses that variable to set the block that we put in the list back to air. But what pop also does is when you pull it off the list or pop it off the list, it also removes it from the list. It then calls build bridge again, which comes back through here. If we're still not standing on air and we're not standing on glass, then remove another block. And the program continues to loop, calling this function saying, am I in air or water? If I am, put down a block. If I'm not, am I on glass? Am I not on glass? If I'm not on glass, take a glass block away. And it runs that over and over and over again. So let's have another go.